Yes, I'm interested because there has been a lot written about millennials and authenticity and what they seek in the brands and the products that they buy, and how that relates to what you're talking about. Does it cut across all different industries, or are there certain industries where it defines who they are?
I think consumer products is the highest area in which millennials have shown to care with their purchase decisions, primarily because a consumer product is very much a social badge. So if I'm wearing a pair of Tom's shoes and Tom's has the one for one program, I'm socially badged in society amongst my peer group as caring about changing the world or contributing positively to the world in a way that's highly visible. And that just shows that this matches my core values. This matches authentically who I am. So when Tom's first launched, you could not walk across a college campus or a high school without seeing a really high proportion of millennials walking around in Tom's.
So maybe compare or contrast to Nike. Is there any research on that?
There's no, Nike's, they're two totally different sized companies. So somebody like Tom's, which is private and owned by one CEO, Blake McCoskey, who is himself a millennial, it's easy to develop a strategy and to push that strategy through. I'm not going to say that Nike doesn't care. They were one of the first companies to work with the Fair Labor Association. In fact, they helped launch the Fair Labor Association. You talked before about motivations, Students Against Sweatshops, which was a significantly powerful force that developed on college campuses, really took Nike to task on the factory conditions from which they were sourcing their footwear, their clothing. Nike reacted with a deep, comprehensive strategy to go through and not only enhance the standards of their own factories, but when you have a factory from which multiple apparel and footwear companies source, you're raising the floor for all of those companies. You're getting all of the companies to say, we have to care about this. Nike has done some interesting work around recycling of tennis shoes, and they grind the rubber from those tennis shoes and utilize it to develop playground surface areas for schools that might not be able to afford to have playgrounds, or at least to have updated playgrounds. They do a significant amount of work. It's become kind of a have to have. I feel like they were one of the first movers out of the chutes, but now other companies are starting to surpass Nike.